2017, and my name is Emily, and this is my weekly podcast about knitting and spinning and all things making. I will once again attempt to place the places you can find us online over here. To start off with this week, I get to announce that we have hit over 100 subscribers, which means we will be having the 100 subscriber giveaway. Yay! So what we'll do is I've opened, by the time this posts, I will have opened a thread over in the Ravelry group, and it'll just say, 100 subscriber giveaway, and the prompt is going to be, what are your autumn knits for this year? So what do you have queued up that you're planning on working on this fall? And just go ahead and post there, and then I will randomly draw, and I'm going to give it a few weeks. In fact, I may give it until my first recording in December, just to give people plenty of time to enter and everything. And the prizes, the first prize is this beautiful project bag, and I showed this off last week. This is by beautiful Syster, and this is the Hillary bag. So there's their tag, and it's got this bright yellow interior with this fun pocket, so you can keep some notions in there. And it's got a box bottom, and it's so pretty. So we'll have this there. So thank you to the lovely ladies of Beautiful Syster for donating this bag for our 100 subscriber giveaway. So we'll have this, and I am including a skein of my Mount Doom colorway. So I figured it's nice, fall colored, and it's going to look really, really pretty all worked up. So here's that skein, and it's all oranges and creams and brown speckles. So this will be the skein, and once I close that thread, I'll just randomly generate a number, and the winner will get both of these. So keep an eye out. Head on over to the group. Head on over to the Ravelry group, and definitely enter as soon as possible so you don't forget. So yay! And thank you to everyone who's subscribed and everyone who comes back for each episode. I really, really appreciate it, and I'm really happy to be able to send something out to one of you lucky subscribers. So hooray! Alright, so since the last time I recorded, I have been to 2 fiber festivals, and that would be Fiber in the Borough over in Murfreesboro, and that's a one-day festival. It's a lot of fun, a lot of different types of vendors, a lot of different types of people. It was really, really nice. And we also went to SAF. Now, I wasn't vending at SAF. I just went there for the entire weekend with just some local ladies. We rented a house and spent a ton of time in Asheville. So that was really, really nice. We just kind of made our own mini retreat. So I think, because I've already started working with some of the yarns that I've purchased, I'm just going to go ahead and go more in chronological order than separating things into finished objects and whips and then acquisitions. So the first things would be from Fiber in the Borough. So one of the first things I purchased, and I wasn't planning on buying anything because I knew SAF was coming up and I was going to be doing a lot of buying at SAF, but Ashley from Twist Fiber Studios had a special colorway available for Fiber in the Borough, and it was Mother of Pearl. And this is how that worked up. And oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And these are, the pattern is Tiny Pants by Megan Goodacre. And these worked up so quickly. I did the 3-month size. It's got the little legs. And this is meant to fit just right over a diaper. And I'm so happy. I love it. So here's that stitch stitch. Here's how that worked up again. And it's so gorgeous. And this was only 4 fiber in the burrow. So I snapped it up right away. I didn't want to miss out on it just because I was trying to save all my money for Saf. But I'm so happy I got it and I got to work it up. And it's so soft and squishy. And I've got plenty left over. I'm actually using it for another project that I'll show you in a minute. But yes, Twist Fiber Studio, Ashley, she's wonderful. Yeah. So definitely check that out. She said that she wasn't sure if that one was going to be coming back as a recurring colorway or if it was just for Fiber in the Burrow. So if you like it, get in touch with her. I'll have her website down below. Get in touch with her and let her know that you like it. The other item that I got while I was there, I was actually in a booth right next to, here we go, her name is April from the Steady Hand. And there's her card. And she made, she had project bags, notions bags. She had these really cool little, they're about this big, and it's like an organizer for your stitch markers. So you unzip it, and it had strips going across it that you could hook progress keepers on, or stitch markers that open, or you can hang just any kind of stitch markers you have, so you can just open up this big book and see all of them. So that was really cool. But I wound up, I wanted to try out one of these. And this is a needle cozy. And I couldn't pass it up when I saw the bright yellow chevrons. And it's got really nice sturdy plastic snaps. So I'm really happy with this. She even includes, which you don't often see with, or I guess maybe I just don't often see it, but care instructions for project bags and needle cozies and stuff. So I thought that was really cool. And all of her stuff was really well made. So I'm hoping she's there next year so I can get some more stuff from her. But, ta-da! Got this. And the other item that I got, and this is the last one. I haven't spun any of it yet, but this is from Stony Fiber Arts. And we actually do a show together in April. So I've seen her a few years running now. And I love they're specialized mostly in cotton, Pima cotton, and I'll buy, usually they have white, and then they have white blended with like a yellow and white blended with more of an orange, and it's all natural colored cotton. But this year, they had, I think it's 40% Pima cotton mixed, no, I'm sorry, 60% Pima cotton, blended with 40% Belgian flax, which it just sounded too cool. I had to get it, so I did. I got, I think, 3 ounces of it, and I'm really excited to try it out because it's so soft, and I love the color, and I can naturally dye it, so I think the kind of oatmeal color will over dye beautifully. And we had so much fun. We got to see a lot of people that we saw last year. Sorry for the crinkling. We got to see a lot of people we saw last year at Fiber in the Burrow. And yeah, the one thing I was really sad about, last year there was a man making shoelaces. And he was crimping the tips with metal. And they looked really, really cool and decorative. I didn't get his card, or if I did, I lost it. And I was so hoping he would be there. But he didn't come this year. I was going to get shoelaces for me and Tim, but that's okay. Maybe I'll find him at some other show somewhere. Who knows? But yeah, after that, so that was 2 Saturdays ago, and I spent kind of that Sunday doing inventory and getting everything kind of caught up with the shop to make sure I didn't have my numbers off for any reason, and kind of hunkered down to recover from being around so many people and getting ready for Saf. This past Friday, Tim dropped me off at Hook and Needle because Christy, I don't think she was planning on having any kind of retreat. She's the owner of Hook and Needle. It just kind of happened that she, was talking to one person about how she wanted to go and stay overnight, and then another person heard, and it just kind of spiraled into now we're renting a house and we're all gonna go and stay. So we had a mini retreat, which was so much fun, and yeah, we did a lot of buying, some of us more than others. I was pretty good. I stayed within my budget. So the first place I went, and I got really, really paranoid because at Fiber in the Burrow, I saw something that I wanted to buy from Ashley of Twist Fiber Studios, and I thought, well, I'm going to SAF. I don't want to spend all my money before I get to SAF. And then on the way, I started getting all freaked out that, well, we're not going to be there till Saturday. What if she sells out of these beautiful bags? And this was a collaboration that she did with, I've forgotten her name, but she is the host of the Ninja Chicken podcast. And I'll have a link to that all down below. But the woman from Ninja Chicken went ahead and dyed the fabric, and it's eco-printed. And they're so crisp. Like, you can really see the leaves on here. And then Ashley sewed it together. There's a linen base, and Ashley put together these beautiful leather handles and assembled the project bags, and I couldn't not. It was so beautiful. And she had ones with a green bottom and brown bottoms as well, and it was all the bases were linen, and I'm so happy with it. It's so pretty. And I just love looking at it. Ooh, I mean, look at that one. Look at how crisp that is. And then we've got these fun colors up the middle. So yes, this was the first thing I got. As soon as we went into SAF, I went straight for her booth to get one of these. And I'm not sure how many she has left. And I'm not sure if this is something they're going to be doing again. But again, if you're interested, check out her website down below. She was also doing a sale. So she had some skeins that were on sale because of, I think it said the labels. I didn't look too closely as to why they were on sale. I just kind of dove into the bin. And so here's her label. I think this is her old label, and I think that's why they were on sale. But this is Bluegrass Sunrise. And it's so speckly. And these are not my normal colors. But it's so pretty. So I grabbed this up. It's a DK weight. And it's on her Nantahala DK base. And it's Superwash Merino 100%. And I got this. We still don't know if the little pickle is going to be a boy or a girl. So I'm trying to stay pretty neutral on colors, like these. They're just little bottoms. So boy or girl, I can make these work either way. And I'm not too worried about having all of the knits be gender specific. So I'm really happy with these, but it'd be hard to pull this off on a boy because I think it's coming through a little redder than it is, but it is like dark pink, bright pink, yellow and orange. So this really is, if we have a girl. If we're having a boy, these will be my socks, and I'll make myself some really cushy socks for around the house because it's cold in this house. Now that winter's here, it's pretty chilly in the house. So I've been kind of layering on the hand knits, and like this, what I'm wearing now is actually a wool, 100% merino wool dress that I found. Very cozy, bit too big for me, but it's going to be great for when I'm very round and pregnant in the future and it's still cold out. So that went way off on a tangent. Point is, it's either for me or for the baby. We'll see. But I love it. And, I mean, how can you say no when the yarn's on sale? Yeah. So, had a lot of fun there. And oh, my next stop was Miss Babs. And what I really liked, this was my first time in Miss Babs' booth. I've never seen her yarn in person. I've heard a lot about it, but I haven't ever gotten my mitts on it. What I really liked was that she had samples up, and she had samples of all of her bases, I think. And you got like 6 to 10 yards that you could play with. So I got a sample of the Yowza, and there we go. I should have separated those before, but I forgot. I got the Lost Treasure colorway. Now this is, I'm not sure about the yardage, but I'll put all the information about the yarn over here. But it's a light worsted, 100% superwash merino, and it's just, I'm so in love with these colors. I almost got, she had a colorway called Surprise, but that was very much, and it would have worked for a girl, but it's very much, it leaned a little too boyish, and I want to make a sweater, so I'll probably get that next year for me, or for the pickle, it'll depend. But yes, I'm so happy with this. And to pair with it, now this is a DK weight, but I figure if the gauge is that different, I'll go ahead and just not change needle sizes when I do the ribbing, because I'm planning for this to be the accents on a sweater. There. So this is from the fiber seed, and it's kind of a like a nut brown color, and I had seen this skein the day before because we'd been in the booth looking around. Whitney bought, well, one of the women who was there, she bought a ton of their stuff because she really liked that they were just, it's US yarn from US wool producers, and it's really nice and squishy. So once I decided on which Miss Babs I was going to get, took the skein with me, and I had 2 colors in mind, and it was this one and a much darker brown. So I sat there for a while and kind of held them back and forth, and finally settled on this one, which I think goes really well with the lighter patches of brown. So I think this is going to look really nice, and I should have plenty left over to do either another pair of baby pants or a different something made out of these yarns. So yeah, I think there are about 550 yards in the Yowza, and I'm not sure about this one. I was playing with these and wrapping them up together, and somewhere in one of the bags that I took are the labels for these. I'm not sure where that is, so I know they're going together, and I'm quite happy with them. So hopefully I don't need those tags later. But here is the card for the fiber seed, if you want to check them out. There we go. And Lindsay, she's lovely. She was really helpful, and when I came in and I was trying to pick out my yarns, she gave me the space to look at it. Sometimes when you're in a booth and you're trying to make up your mind, people can be very pushy in like offering help and suggestions to the point where you can't think. And she stood back, and once I stood up with my yarn and I was holding them together, she was just kind of like, those look great. You're good choice. And just, she's very sweet. So hopefully they'll be at SAF again next year, because I definitely want to get more yarn from them too. While we were in, we were actually staying in Black Mountain, not in Asheville, where the festival was happening. We learned how to brioche. And this was just something fun that was kind of, everyone agreed that they wanted to learn how to brioche, and one of the women coming knew how. So it wasn't really a class so much as we all know how to knit, we all know how to read a pattern, so let's sit around the table, and if we have trouble or if we feel like this doesn't look right, we've got someone to back us up. So we all managed to cast on and get knitting our brioche, and here's mine. Now this blue on the outside I got in a swap years ago. I think I was still living in Florida. I'm not sure, but this is my outer color, and then on the inside I'm using all different colors. Now the blue here and down at the bottom, that is Twist Fiber Studios, and that is the Mother of Pearl colorway. And all of the other colors that you're seeing are Miss Babs colorways. So I grabbed those samples of the different bases, and I have all different sizes here. Some of it is DK. Some of it, I've got some fingering, bulky, chunky Aran. I think DK. I don't know if there's a worsted from Miss Babs that I have. Oh, I have the Yowza. The Yowza is a light worsted. So it's coming along really well. I'm trying to, each sample from Miss Babs came with a card, and the idea was if you've never worked with Miss Babs yarn, then grab a sample and see if you like it. And they were very friendly, you know, they said help yourself, try out the samples, and I'm really glad that I grabbed them because I'm finding new bases that I really want to try for full projects, not just for making a stripe in my cowl. And it's really nice being able to feel the yarn, see how it knits up, get to squish it when it's in teeny tiny yarn ball form, and I get to see all the colorways working up. So I'm really happy that they did that, and I've got little notes on my cards for next year, so when I go to her booth, I really want to try more of her bases. I definitely want a few more skeins of the Yowza because I'm very happy with this. And I want like sweaters quantities worth of these, which I think I only need about 2, especially if I'm willing to add in for the collar and the cuffs, because I think that gets me 1,100 if I have 2 of them. But we'll see. So that's what I'm doing. Every once in a while I'm going back in with the Mother of Pearl colorway, which has become very messy inside my bag. But just to kind of tie it all together, at some point I may need to replace this color, which is that outer colorway that I'm using, but maybe not. We'll see. I think I'm coming up on 4 inches now, and I think I need to get to 8 or 9. I'm doing the pattern, checking my notes. The pattern is Gina's Brioche Cowl from Pearl Soho, and I'm using size 6 needles, mostly worsted weight yarn, but I'm kind of all over the place as far as weights. I did mention there's fingering weight in here, and I don't know if you can see it, but this yellow is a fingering weight and it's held double. So it all works out to be about the same size, so I'm not seeing any real size differences in here yet. But yeah, it's coming along really well. Brioching is way easier than I thought it would be, especially we were all working on it, and we were like, you know, if you don't look at this bark and burp nonsense that they have on here, if you just look at the stitches and what you're doing, and don't confuse yourself with the terminology, it's so much easier. And that seemed to be true for all of us. We just stopped trying to think about the weird terminology and just looked at what the stitches were doing. So hopefully I'll have this done soon. It's so cushy and warm, The colors, it's a little bit brighter than I would normally wear, but I think if I'm wearing like a charcoal jacket, which is usually what I'm wearing in winter, then if everything else is more subdued, I think I could wear this as just kind of my one little burst of color. Oh, I love it. And I did some modifications because I think the original pattern calls for 56 inches, for the cowl itself to be 56 inches long. But I think the distance around my shoulders is, I don't remember. I did the math, but it's somewhere in the 40 inch, like somewhere between 40 and 50. So I did some math to bring that number way down and the number of stitches way down so that I wouldn't end up like swimming in it. I want to be able to wrap it once around my shoulders or wrap it twice and have it fit around my neck. So that's the goal. We'll see how it turns out, but I think it's turning out really well so far. And then the only other yarn that I bought, so I mean really, I didn't go too overboard, and I'm really happy about that. Because I came like this close to going like $60 over my budget. But I controlled myself, so. This is the splurgiest thing that I bought. So, Black Mountain Yarn Shop was having a trunk show, and they had Magpie Fibers there. And, oh my gosh, I wanted to get, one of my main goals was to get Hufflepuff colors, and so I was open to either yellow and black or yellow and brown, and it's hard to tell, but this is kind of like a toffee yellow, and this one up here is more of a gray brown, but this is on their DK MCN base, so that's their swanky DK, so it's an 80-10-10 blend of merino, cashmere, and nylon, and it's so soft. It's so beautiful, and I love the colors. This one is Tupelo Honey, and this one is Harpoon, and I want these to go together for, I think it's going to be for a Gramps by Tin Can Knits, and it'll be a brown cardigan with yellow accents, but we'll see. I haven't made up my mind yet. But I'm really glad I got Hufflepuff colors. Since Tim and I are both Hufflepuffs, there's a good chance the baby will be a Hufflepuff too. It'll certainly be dressed like one, and that's what matters. So, yeah, I'm really happy with those. It was actually the Magpie Fibers that almost broke my budget because they had a sock yarn that was kind of these two colors with a little bit of gray and white in there, and that one was gorgeous. I should have written down the name. And they had another one that was mostly grays with some of that gray brown and little bits of, it was either yellow or orange, but it looked very stony, and I was gonna get both of them, and common sense stepped in and pointed out that my budget had been met, but next time I'm in Black Mountain or anywhere near it, I need to go there and get more. So definitely check out Magpie Fibers if you haven't already. And here's their card. I don't think that's actually gonna, you can still read it, so. So that's gonna be for the baby as well. I'm really excited about that. Pretty much everything I bought was for the baby, except for the project bag and the fiber. Oh, that's right. I did get one other, sorry for crinkles. I did get one other bit of fiber, and this was also from Stony Hill Fiber Arts, and I was really surprised to find this at their booth, since pretty much everything they have is Pima cotton, and beautiful Pima cotton. They've got yarn and spinning fiber, and they have so many different samples knit up that you can see and feel, and I love it. I'm not a big cotton knitter, but I've been very tempted to buy from them, and I always get fiber whenever we're at the same shows. So when I saw this fiber, it didn't look like cotton, so I was asking her about it, and it's recycled plastic bottles. So essentially it's nylon, but yeah, it's just, I mean, it's just white and fluffy. And yeah, I'm going to spin some up on its own just to see how I like it, and then I'm going to blend some for spinning to see how it works in the fiber, how it blends, and if she has this again, there's a good chance I'm going to be buying more of it. So, and in that bag, I found the label for the fiber seed. So this is for the brown accent yarn that I got, and it's not coming into focus, but that's okay. It's a 90-10 blend of superwash merino and nylon, and it's about 250 yards. So I should have enough of this to do accents for this sweater, and hopefully, maybe if I do the ribbing in these colors, make another pair of tiny pants, which is this pattern. I have been knitting a lot of those. That was my first pair, and I cast on another one. They're just so cute, and they're so easy to knit. And it's a free pattern online, so if you've got a tiny person to knit for, do it. But here it is. And this one is with that same swap yarn. And I got a second skein that was more of a gradient in that same swap. And I finished one leg, so I just need to make another leg and then kitch near the center. But I love it. Oh, it looks so cute. With this one, I accidentally did not change needle size. You're supposed to do, I think it calls for size 6 for the ribbing, and then size 7 for the stockinette portion. But I didn't have size 6 needles on me. So, in fact, the ones I'm using for my brioche I had to borrow from Christy. But I use size 5 for this pair. Size 5 for the ribbing, size 7 for the body. And with this one, it was just size 5 all the way through, just because I forgot to change the yarn. But they're so precious. Check them out. So that's mostly all I've been knitting and all I've been up to. It is living in this project bag that I got from Megan of Little Fish Stitches. And it is so beautiful. So here it is. It's got little woodland creatures, and you can see there's like a wood grain on the background. We did a swap just before I left for SAF, actually. I sent her a skein of my Christmas yarn, Christmas Cheer, which I need to dye up more of. But it's got this plaid lining, and it's plaid on top. Whoop. Alright, there we go. So you've got plaid accent fabric all around, and she just leaves these really nice touches because the inside is that main fabric again on the bottom, but it's plaid on top. So I really like this bag. I'm so glad that we were able to swap. So glad we were able to swap, and this was so nice to come home to after SAF. So very happy with how that turned out. So thanks, Megan. If you haven't already, go check out her podcast. It's the Little Fish Stitches podcast. And you can find that on YouTube, and you can find her on Instagram, under the same name. And I'll have her tagged up down below in case you need your own adorable Christmas bag. And this works really well for like a sock project bag. Or just a smaller project. I've got plenty of space in it for the tiny pants, but I'm sure I could do 2 at a time socks in there if I wanted to. Fiber festivals have pretty much been the only thing I've been up to. I've been, when not at doing all the fiber things. I've been moving pretty slowly. I've been very lucky compared to a lot of my friends who are pregnant right now, and my morning sickness has not been bad, but I keep waking up in the middle, the past 3 nights, I've woken up in the middle of the night hungry, but it was too cold for me to get out of bed and go get food. So I've actually, I feel like George Costanza from Seinfeld, but I've actually stocked my bedside table with snacks so that when I wake up in the middle of the night, I can just like reach in and eat like a chewy bar real quick or something and go back to sleep. But I've been moving really slowly. It definitely takes me time to figure out what I want to eat, but now that I've got a timer going off, like every 2 hours to remind me to eat, nausea has not been bad. It's just a general sleepiness, and yeah, my brain's slowly coming back, though, because I am able to knit again, which is great. Yeah, so I'm embracing the fiber, and just, I can't wait to find out what the pickle is. We've got about, I think I'm just at 11 weeks today, I think. So I've got about 5 weeks left before I find out. Yeah. So it's exciting. I'm really ready to know, but yeah, I can definitely wait. So, nothing much else has been going on. Mostly just baby stuff and fiber. So I guess we'll leave it at that this week. Don't forget to head over to the Ravelry group so you can enter in the 100 subscriber giveaway for your chance to win this beautiful project bag from beautiful Syster. So sturdy. This gorgeous project bag will be available along with this skein of my hand-dyed yarn, and this is Mount Doom. So lots of fall-inspired goodies to win, and the prompt will be, what are your upcoming fall knits? So all you'll have to do is answer that and be a subscriber to the channel, and you'll be entered to win. So thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys coming back, and yeah, happy making, guys. Bye.